I'd like to call the December the 5th, 2016 organizational meeting to order. Mr. Kendrick, if you would lead us in the invocation, and Mr. Jeffers, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Let's pray. Lord, we come to you tonight giving thanks for all the blessings that you've bestowed upon this community. We'd ask that you continue to be with us, watch over us, guide us. Lord, we know that in the past few days we've had some things that happened in our community that aren't good for anybody, and we'd ask that you would put your healing hand on that. Dear Lord, watch over it, guide us, help us to get through these times, and be with us as we go further into this process. We'd ask that you be with this board as we make decisions tonight that are affecting this community. We'd ask that you watch over all of our troops who are at home and in foreign lands. Amen.
Amen. All stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes?
Move for approval.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And I'd like to take this time to recognize one of our board members, David Newell. I think when anybody decides that they're going to run for a public office, no one really knows what it's going to entail. We want to do what's best for our community. We want to make the right decisions that are right for our whole community. And we spend a lot of time trying to agonize and work over those decisions that affect us all. David Newell has stepped up to the plate. He has been a part of this board for 4 years. I can tell you from past experience that he has spent countless amount of time, effort, and energy to do what's right for Person County. He is here a lot when I come here, and I know that he has made decisions that he thought were right for us and our community. And with that being said, I'd like to present David with a plaque that says to presented to David Newell Sr. in appreciation for 4 years of service to the citizens of Person County. The Person County Board of Commissioners, December 3rd, 2012 to December the 5th, 2016. Chairman of the Board of Commissioners from December the 7th, 2015 to December 25th, 2016. Presented this day of December the 5th, 2016. Thank you, David, for your service and all that you've done for this community. And at this time, I'd like for any of the other board members to say anything they'd like to say. Start with Ray.
Well, David, I've enjoyed serving with you the past 4 years. I'm young. I'm same age as your youngest son, so we've had the opportunity to ride four wheels together. I spent a lot of time with your
My only son. That's clear.
spent a lot of time at your house as a child, and appreciate what you do not only for the community, for your public service, but for your small business and your family business that you run here in the county and the people that you employ, and we'll miss you.
Appreciate your service to the county, and I had a family that wanted me to send you a message. They told me to be sure to tell you how much they appreciated this board voting unanimous for that Corporal Jesse Lunsford Highway Memorial, and they got that approved December the 1st at the Board of Transportation meeting in Raleigh, and I went with part of the family members over there, and they wanted me to be sure to tell you, since you were going off of the board, that how much they did appreciate, and all of you all, but particularly Commissioner Newell, since he was going off, that they certainly did appreciate that. It was a unanimous vote, and I just want to tell you I appreciate your service to the county. I know what it's like And
Yeah,
when
you
you're
do.
chairman, there are lots of things that you do that people don't realize that you do. And you took the time to do it, and I think you, nobody always agrees with everybody. If they did, they wouldn't need but one commissioner. So, you know, you did what you thought was right, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, 4 years has gone by way too fast, and I can say that I have certainly enjoyed serving on this board with you. You really stepped up to the challenge as chairman this past year. Very dedicated. I know that I could always go to you and just talk to you, and I'd be thinking one way, and you always bring up a different way of looking at it. And I think that's what we're going to miss having on this board, is you always brought up different ways of looking at things, especially from a business aspect of things. Wish you the best. I'm going to miss you.
Well,
But I know we'll still be seeing you around. So
well.
thank you for your service, David.
One thing I'd like to say, coming back to me again, is that over the 4 years that you've been here, a lot has gotten done. I know we have looked at a senior center for the last 10 or 12 years, and during your direction and your leadership, we've gotten to a point where our seniors are going to have a place to go and a place to gather. And so if we have no other accomplishments, then I think our seniors will surely be happy that we've gotten past all of the things, all of the hurdles that we've had to get to this point. And so all of your accomplishments, all of the things that you've done as a board member and as a chairman are appreciated by the whole community. And with that, I'd like to ask everyone to stand and give you a round of applause.
Thank you. I would like to say a few words. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for putting up with me for 4 years. I know what Kyle was referring to, and a lot of times my thinking is a little bit out of the box, but most of the time it works. I would specifically like to thank cooperation from Brenda and Heidi and Shyster here.
Wondered if you were going to use his name.
Couldn't think of it, that's why. But I also would like to recognize Amy and Ray, Sheriff Jones. I know I'm gonna leave somebody out, Gary, for making the county work. Stuart, we've spent a lot of time together. I hope we've gotten something accomplished. I guess the future. Oh, okay. Thank you.
She wasn't in his line of sight.
But the county's in good hands. Mr. Powell, I'm sure, will make a very good commissioner. He already has his feet wet as far as how to deal with budgets and whatnot, which took me a couple of years to get used to. Took me a while. I'm not real sure I've learned how to read it yet, but anyway, I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity that I've had, and just hope I was worth having. So with that, I'll pass the gavel to Mr. Aycock.
It's a tradition in Person County for the county attorney to preside at the transition of power and the swearing in. As this chairman is leaving before he's compelled to, I will say, Mr. Chairman, I consider it a badge of distinction to be called a shyster. I define a shyster as an attorney who represents the interest of his client. So thank you.
Good job. Good job.
During the time that I am privileged to preside, there will be 3 elements of business. There will be the swearing in of the newly elected commissioners and other elected officials. There will also be the election of the chair and the vice chair. And finally, the third element will be the third element, businessman. The third element will be a legal requirement that this board approve the bonds of the operating officials elected and appointed here in the county. The very first order of business is a swearing-in ceremony, and for that, we are privileged to have the clerk of court, the Honorable Deborah Barker, to do so. I understand that the clerk will install each elected official one by one so they can get their proper show of attention. Those elected officials sworn in will be first the commissioners-elect, Jimmy Clayton, Ray Jeffers, and Gordon Powell, and after that, the Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisors, John Gray and Hunter Thomas. I should note, as the clerk is getting herself prepared, she's always prepared, that if members being sworn in desire to have members of their family to come up, they're encouraged to do so. Sometimes the members of the family hold the Bible, so that will be up to each elected official and their family, and under the supervision of Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk.
Thanks. All right, thank you very much for this honor, and I'd ask that Jimmy Clayton come forward with his family. Understand? Is that the one? That's correct. All right. I'll stand over. I'll have y'all right there. Whichever way this photographer wants to be. I yield. Left hand on the Bible and raise your right. Do you, Jimmy B. Clayton, solemnly swear that you'll support the Constitution of the United States, so help you God? And do you further, Jimmy B. Clayton, further solemnly and sincerely swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God? And finally, do you, Jimmy B. Clayton, further swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Jimmy, I'll get you to sign your oath, please.
Thank you.
All right, I'll ask Brandon Ray Jeffers to come forward with his family. I just wanted to use that name. Somebody wanted you to use that name. Left hand, raise your right. Do you, Brandon Ray Jeffers, solemnly swear that you'll support the Constitution of the United States, so help you God? And do you further, Brandon Ray Jeffers, further solemnly and sincerely swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God? And finally, do you, Brandon Ray Jeffers, further swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God?
I will.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Brandon.
Oh, okay. Mr. Gordon Powell, I'd ask you to come forward, sir. Can you have your... Yeah. Oh.
I know you got more family here than that.
Anybody want to join?
Bring them on up. We got plenty of room.
We got plenty of room.
We didn't plan on
Oh, boy.
put up with if you don't do right.
I think a few of them can take us.
I have the majority.
You've got your Bible. I'll ask you to place your left hand and raise your right, please, sir. Do you, Gordon Powell, solemnly swear that you'll support the Constitution of the United States, so help you God? And further, do you, Gordon Powell, solemnly and sincerely swear that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God. And finally, do you, Gordon Powell, further swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of County Commissioner according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God?
I will.
Thank you, sir. Powell, I'd ask you to... Yeah. Thank you, sir. No, very good. Thank you.
We don't get the pens like to do with.
Yeah, no.
I think I got a seat up here for you, Gordon.
Gordon, we
I
got.
think I got a seat up here for you.
Sign your lightweight now, Gordon.
Don't go to the back row.
So the honeymoon's over?
You gotta get on the front row now.
I'd ask Mr. John Gray to come forward, please, sir, with anyone that's going to come with you. Are you all on your own?
You signed it now. You part of this.
Do you, John R. Gray, solemnly swear that you'll support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as Person, Soil, and Water Conservation District Supervisor, so help you God? And do you further, John R. Gray, solemnly and sincerely swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God? And finally, do you, John R. Gray, swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of the Person, Soil, and Water Conservation District Supervisor according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God?
I will.
Thank you, sir. John, gotta get your sign. Thank you, sir. Is Mr. Hunter R. Thomas here? Is Mr. Thomas? have anyone to hold the Bible for you?
No.
All right, I'll ask you to hold it with your left hand and raise your right hand, sir. Do you, Hunter R. Thomas, solemnly swear that you will support and maintain the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent therewith, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of your office as Person, Soil, and Water Conservation District Supervisor, so help you God? And further, do you, Hunter R. Thomas, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, that you will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that you will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of your knowledge and ability, so help you God? And finally, do you, Hunter R. Thomas, swear that you will well and truly execute the duties of the office of the Person, Soil, and Water Conservation District Supervisor according to the best of your skill and ability, according to law, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Okay. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
The next order of business that I am privileged to preside over is a requirement every 2 years upon the election of certain officers and the appointment. The state law requires a bond for the faithful performance of the duties of certain officials. The county has purchased that bond, so these officials didn't have to pay for it with their own money, but the bond has been purchased for the Register of Deeds, the sheriff, and the Register of Deeds, and the finance officer. There's a statutory amount is required. I'll say it again. It is for the finance director, the Register of Deeds, the sheriff, and the tax administrator. All these have statutorily required bonds, and it is required that the Board of County Commissioners approve those bonds. I guess, Mr. Former Chairman, I should ask, is there a motion to approve the bonds?
Move to approve the bonds.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion as to the bonds? If not, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The bonds have been approved. Now, I purposely moved the easy one to the end, that is the election of chair and vice chair, but out of order. But we now have an opportunity to elect the chair and vice chair. The rules are as follows. I will accept nominations of each office. There will be no requirement for a second to a nomination. We will vote in reverse order of the nominations, where the last one shall be the first one. State law does require that all commissioners vote. So, the very first order of business is the election of chair. Is there a nomination for the office of chair?
I nominate Tracy Kendrick for chairman.
Mr. Kendrick has been nominated. Are there other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I reckon I nominate Ray Jeffries.
Mr.
I
Jeff?
Can I say a word?
Yes, I'll give.
Am I allowed?
Yes, sure. I'll allow, once the nominations are in, I'll allow the nominators to say a word about each. So, Mr. Jeffers is in nomination, and now in reverse order, I'll ask the nominator Mr. Clayton if he has anything to say about his nominee.
I want to remind the board that Ray was the youngest commissioner that was elected when he was elected in Person County, that he's been president of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. He's the 97th president. He's the first one that actually served from Person County. He supported Person County. He attended Person County schools, Piedmont Community College, North Carolina A&T, and I think that this is just going into his third term, and I just think that he would make a very good chairman.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Perrier?
Tracy has been a very dedicated vice chairman this past year, and I believe he deserves the opportunity to prove himself as chairman.
Okay. You ready to vote? I'll ask you to vote by raising your hand, please. In reverse order, Mr. Jeffers?
Jeffers.
Mr. Jeffers was last, so vote those of you in favor of Mr. Jeffers. 2 votes. Those of you in favor of Mr. Kendrick. 3 votes. Mr. Kendrick has won election as chair. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Next is the election of vice chair. Same procedure will prevail here. We'll accept nominations. After nominations are in, give an opportunity for the nominators to say something, and then we shall vote. Are there nominations for the office of vice chair?
I'd like to nominate Gordon Powell.
Mr. Powell has been nominated. Are there other nominations?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Ray Jeffers.
Mr. Jeffers has been nominated, and in reverse order, the nominator of Mr. Jeffers will be given an opportunity to speak first.
Well, I would like to make the same speech I just made, that he attended the Person County Schools Community College. This is his third term, and he's neither been chairman nor vice chairman, and I think that he would do a good job as vice chair.
Okay. Nominator of Mr. Powell.
Mr. Powell has been in this community for a long time, both as an educator and as an elected official. Over that period of time, he has shown his leadership, his direction, and his integrity in all of the positions that he's had. I'd like for him to have the opportunity to come in and serve our county as well as our schools, as he has as our past chairman of Person County Schools. His leadership with Person County Schools has continued to be in the right direction, in the direction of making sure that all the people of Person County have an education, who are educated correctly, and I think that he would do a good job as the vice chair working with the people of Person County.
Okay, sir. All right, are you ready to vote? If so, in reverse order again, all those in favor of Mr. Jeffers, please raise your hand. 2 votes. All those in favor of Mr. Powell, please raise your hand. 3 votes. Congratulations, Mr. Powell. As my very last official duty as presiding officer, and I won't have that duty again for 2 more years if you keep the shyster on board. That duty is to declare a recess of this board until 7 o'clock tonight, and we'll reconvene at 7 o'clock.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
could I say something before we all leave? I want to remind everybody here that Person County will be coming up on their 225th anniversary. And if you hadn't seen this, you need to see this. You get it all unfolded here. There's a limited edition. Is it upside down? Is it right?
No, it's good.
And, it's the commemorative blanket from the museum, and there's a limited edition of these, and I think there's probably about 40 or 50 left. And if you get a chance to get one, I think you will not regret it. I just thought it was a very fitting thing to start off with our 225th year. I think there was an anniversary back in the past, and I won't go back there because I was not a commissioner at the time, but I think it kind of got overlooked till about half of the year was gone. So we'll start this year with this, and I think if you want to get one of these, like I said, it's a limited edition of them. But I just thought it was so nice, and I was just appreciative of the museum doing that. And I didn't mean to take up too much time, but I thought it would be a good thing to remind people of, and I thought it was a good audience here to see it.
Very good. Now we will stand in recess until 7 o'clock.
Tracy, congratulations.